Enter to win a chance to walk a day in Robin's shoes, a very special guest. We get asked that a lot. Why is it worth it? You know, we don't have the perfect. I wanted the women and children who come to this shelter to feel safe and comfortable. Dr. Phil no longer wears the "what happened" ring. Robin disappears from every frame. The whole crew keeps their mouth shut. But then a clip leaked. He left the lawyer's office, head down, not saying a word. Everything exploded. The couple once hailed as the stainless steel of American television has broken 3 years of silence. No explanation until today. Dr. Phil spoke up. His 45-year marriage ended, and for the first time, he tells it all, from the quiet cracks to the final blow behind the scenes. On July 14, 2022, an 11-second clip went viral on social media. In the video, Dr. Phil walks out of a divorce attorney's office in Pasadena and quickly gets into a waiting black SUV. The person who posted the video captioned it with a single line, "Something big happened today." There was no official response from Dr. Phil's representatives for more than 3 months, but in the modern media world, silence is the most powerful catalyst. In the weeks that followed, the signs kept coming. Robin McGraw was surprisingly absent from 2 specials celebrating the final season of Dr. Phil. On Instagram, she posted only photos of her books and personal inspirational quotes with no mention of her husband. A media magazine quoted a production insider as saying, "The atmosphere on set changed completely." By mid-year, Phil was quieter and always left early. At the time, Dr. Phil was still one of the most influential television personalities in America. He and Robin were on nearly every show together, from talk shows to their own projects like Merit Street Media, and they had established a solid image of an inseparable couple. So even a small gap in their schedules was enough to make the public notice something was wrong. The story exploded when a blue-ticked account posted the following status: "Dr. Phil, the man who taught millions how to stay married, is losing his own marriage." Mainstream media initially did not rush to report the news, but entertainment outlets like Celebrity Pulse, Radar TV, and several celebrity analysis podcasts quickly jumped on the bandwagon. Leaked audio from a private seminar Robin gave in Dallas revealed her telling hundreds of women, "Never let anyone define you as someone else's wife." Though she did not name anyone, the context was easy to deduce. The content was taken down from the platform within hours, further fueling the public's suspicions that something was being hidden. Dr. Phil's show continued to air, but attention had shifted. A breakdown from a popular YouTuber who specializes in body language pointed to Dr. Phil's cold expression and constant avoiding of the camera in episode 254, where he talked about signs of emotional detachment. Viewers spiked, not because of the content, but because they wanted to find the real clues behind his words. The pressure was mounting. A reporter asked Robin directly at the press conference for his new book, but the answer was, "I am here today as an author." When Dr. Phil returned to the airwaves with Dr. Phil Prime Time, Robin was nowhere to be seen. More notably, this time he wore a plain shirt, no tie and no smile. In the final segment of the program, he said only one sentence: "Sometimes keeping quiet is the only way to not hurt more. But I understand that silence for too long can hurt others in other ways." Articles have suggested that Dr. Phil's long silence is not a media strategy but a crisis of image control. "Phil has always built an image of someone who understands and leads emotions," said one media analyst. "When his own emotions are questioned, he loses his edge." The incident came to a head when a former security guard emailed an independent magazine detailing that Dr. Phil had removed his personal belongings from his office in early August. He did not return to the studio's headquarters for 3 weeks, the person said. At the same time, the homepage of the production company Stage 29 Productions was suddenly redirected to a page affiliated with Merit Street Media, where Robin was no longer listed as CEO. For more than 2 decades on camera, Dr. Phil and Robin McGraw have maintained the image of an ideal couple. She has been not only his wife but also his strategic partner, the woman who has appeared on most of his most important shows. They have not only married, but together they have built a multi-million-dollar television empire with both of their names on contracts, shares, and many copyright agreements. But it is this close bond that has caused the cracks to smolder and become difficult to see. A former employee of Stage 29 Productions, the primary production company for Dr. Phil, revealed that Robin was on set nearly every day for more than 15 years. She was involved in editing, producing content, and controlling images on stage. Robin sat in the front row, often nodding or smiling as her husband shared his views. Nevertheless, that constant presence was not always built on joy. Over the years, Robin has admitted to the press that she felt pressured by her personal image being merged with the Dr. Phil brand. In a 2020 interview, she clarified, "At home, I'm Robin. On television, I'm sometimes just the person behind Dr. Phil. Sometimes I get lost." Considered a common statement in the television industry, but after recent developments, it is being viewed from a completely different perspective. Internal documents from Merit Street Media show that Robin was the one who proposed expanding into true crime and civil society in 2023. But a key meeting in September of that year was not attended by her. A source within the editorial team confirmed that Robin had stopped signing off on content since October. By then, internal reports had begun to note a disconnect between the two company leaders. Another notable point is how Robin tends to avoid topics related to her personal life on her own platforms. In her 2024 book, she devoted the entire third chapter to women and self-reliance, including a passage that many followers highlighted: "You can't heal the world if you're exhausted yourself." Most readers at the time took this as general advice, but after the turmoil of early 2025, many returned to the quote and interpreted it as a hidden message. Additionally, a behind-the-scenes video filmed in Texas in 2019, which had been shared by the crew as internal material, has unexpectedly resurfaced. In the video, Dr. Phil is arguing with the director about a scene, and Robin steps in to offer feedback. He stops mid-sentence, turns around, and corrects her in front of the entire crew. There's no insult, but the cold, stiff demeanor of the moment silences the set. The video was taken down less than an hour after it resurfaced earlier this year, but it's enough to give a glimpse into the layered relationship between two people who were once considered TV icons. The breakup, if it happens, doesn't happen in loud screams or open conflict. It happens quietly, step by step, in long meetings, in projects that are no longer discussed in depth, and when emotional distance is no longer measured by physical distance. All relationships, even the strongest, begin to fray. Image tragedy. Dr. Phil was once a national television icon, a man who abandoned clinical psychology to build a relatable, assertive, and authoritative image as America's emotional guide. From his early days with Oprah Winfrey in the late 1990s, he gave audiences the impression that his advice came not from a book, but from real-life experience and personal courage. Dr. Phil's show, which premiered in 2002, quickly became a staple in the lives of millions. Each episode averaged 2 to 3 million viewers. His name was synonymous with topics like marriage, abuse, addiction, and child rearing. The format was initially embraced for its directness and clear-cut solutions. He never beat around the bush, discouraged blaming, and often forced his protagonists to confront truths they had been avoiding. That's what made Dr. Phil so beloved by the public until the layers began to crack. In 2008, the first incident that brought his image into question was his meeting with Britney Spears when the singer was in a mental health crisis. Dr. Phil was present at the hospital as a family friend, but just a few days later, he publicly shared about her condition on television. Britney's family immediately reacted and criticized him for exploiting a sensitive moment. Since then, the phrase television ethics has been associated with his name in debates. The backlash peaked in 2016 when the show aired an episode featuring Shelley Duvall, a once famous actress struggling with mental health issues. Dr. Phil's treatment of the story, which evoked disturbing memories on stage, was met with widespread criticism. The Guardian called it an interview that exploited vulnerability rather than supported. Stanford University published a report analyzing how the media exploits mental illness, citing the episode as a negative example. Instead of stepping back and adjusting, Dr. Phil continued to push the show's extreme emotional content, gradually shifting the show from educational to sensational. Seasons from 2018 onwards saw a significant shift in its audience. Younger viewers dropped sharply, while older and conservative viewers grew. Since 2020, he has invited controversial figures like Matt Walsh and Candace Owens, and has made comments against gun control, sex education, and woke culture. The shift toward more politicized topics has caused many of his former viewers to leave the show, while right-wing media organizations have begun to support him more strongly. In 2023, after 21 seasons, Dr. Phil ended. Instead of calling it quits, he announced the creation of Merit Street Media and relaunched the show in a new format, Dr. Phil Prime Time. The show focuses on crime, social policy, and ideologically driven conversations. Some media critics have said that he has abandoned his role as a psychologist to become a political figure on television. Although he still has a steady viewership,